Hi everyone. Sorry for the high contrast. I'm doing this in the evening, and clearly the camera is trying to adjust to figure things out. But as long as the high contrast means that there's light, I think that that's a happy thing. Hi. So people who've been following my videos will know that I have maintained that November 15th, 16th, 17th, it's actually been something I've been talking about for a while. There is a sharp and distinct energy change. Also, I am going to, just as I said in my last video, maintain that about 18 months from now, we may look to November as being a real turning point. Not every month presents this kind of turning point. Does it mean that something dramatic has to happen in November? Not necessarily, but there is a shift, and it is a turning point or an important month. So I would say the need to pay attention to everything that is unfolding is important. I'm going to try and do this video in a slightly different way. I'm going to try, for the first part of the video, not bringing a lot of astrology in and really talking about how things should be feeling or might be feeling. And then for people who are more astrologically inclined, I will dive into some of the details. First and foremost, we have a full moon on Thursday in the US, Thanksgiving Day. And the full moon is, I don't think I put the time in the title. I will do that when I actually formally upload the video onto YouTube. It is happening at 9:40 p.m. Pacific on the 22nd on Thanksgiving Day, which basically means that if you're on the East Coast or even on the West Coast, much of Thanksgiving Day, the moon is going to be getting full. There are full moons that are stressful, and there are full moons in terms of the aspects that they get in their full moons that are supported and more benign. This is a more stressful full moon. Now let me just say what this essentially means is certainly over the next 48 hours, but it wouldn't surprise me, frankly, over the past 2 weeks, there is an acceleration of events. And with the full moon, the disk of the moon starts at nothing at the new moon, and then of course it gets fuller and fuller and fuller and fuller until you have the full moon. The entire disk is illuminated. Truths may be revealed, truths may come out, people can be pushed into the limelight, there can be a culmination or completion of things, offers can come in. I'm giving you both the positive and the more challenging aspects, or there can be meltdowns. The pot can bubble over. Emotional truths can spill out. And my advice, everyone's like, oh, it's a full moon, I need to be careful. I'm just like, yes, be careful, but let the pot boil over. Let truthfulness come through. Let people have their irritable meltdowns. Let people have their moment. Let the zit burst. Let the just let it have that moment. Now, is it helpful to have it happen on Thanksgiving Day? Not necessarily, but we're going to be certainly for the past couple of days. The energies related to this full moon are already active, and we're going to be feeling it. And so, watch the next 48 hours. Certainly, because it's in a little over 48 hours, the full moon, and watch the 24 odd hours after that too. Whatever this full moon is bringing up, we're going to be contending for it for another couple of weeks, at least the next week following it, a week and a half. So let it continue. So again, watch for that acceleration, watch for that intensity. There's busyness. We are preparing for a holiday in certain parts of the world. There's greater activity. Things are reaching culmination. Things have been accelerating for the past 2 weeks, and so that kind of fever pitch full mooniness is only going to occur. But some people will experience it positively, and some people will experience it in a more challenging way. Some people may get offers, something may get complete, someone is pushed into the limelight, and for others, it is time for a reckoning of some sort, right? And this happens every 28 days, so it doesn't have to necessarily be that dramatic. There is a reference with this particular full moon that if in 2015 and 2016, particularly the last 3 quarters of 2015 and the first 3 quarters of 2016, if there was a crisis or if there was turmoil, then there is an attempt, and we're going to be feeling it over the last few days, and there's an attempt for the rest of this year into March of next year to try and create some healing. It's not going to feel like healing till the end of December as much as it's going to feel like we are driven to address things. We're driven to address things either because they're coming to us from the outside, or we are driven to address things. There is drive, there's passion, there's energy. We're going to be spending a certain amount of time, a fair amount of time in this area. And if you were to say, when did this start to make its presence felt? I would say it's around last week with increasing intensity. And as I said, for astrology aficionados, I will talk about what's what later on. Let's just focus on what this might be feeling like. And so with this kind of drive or energy, there can be, not only are we driven to, not only is it going to take a certain amount of time and our energy and attention, but there can also be, if we are not entirely mindful, explosions of temper. And be careful with your words. The truth and authenticity is going to be really important when it comes to healing these issues between 2015 and 2016 as you head into the end of this year and also into March. The energy will soften between January and March, but between now and the end of this year, if you want, the healing will be in one of two ways. If the universe and the planets decide that you're being genuine and truthful and honorable and are seeking authentic and honest and sincere and respectful resolution where you are not bullshitting or not trying to hide things or not trying to cover them up, it could be that it resolves itself in a way that the healing joins things together. If the planets deem or determine that you are not being entirely honorable, that someone is asking for something and you are not being completely clean, that you are dealing with things out of fear, or you're dealing with things, you're not, the energy, that there's any hint of manipulation, it could be that the healing means that someone needs to be liberated from this relationship. So, and frankly, if you are feeling that if you or someone is in a relationship where they're being manipulative, or not finding that they can be completely honest or honorable, then it may be that whether they like it or not, they kind of need to be liberated from it too. So, the beautiful thing is that with the energies at play, whatever this is bringing up, it is positive. You know, when eclipses happen in certain parts of a chart, they create crises during that time, but it can take years to heal those crises. So when I see healing energy in a part of a chart, however it is being accompanied with a certain amount of drive or whatever, it may well be necessary. And if there were crises or a certain amount of pain created or crisis in some part of your chart or some part of your life in 2015, 2016, it may be emerging thematically, especially around the time of this full moon, and may seek resolution between now and December with a great deal of truth-telling and drive and passion and energy. And then between January and March, you know, with a certain amount of putting a bomb or putting a bandage or moving forward. In addition, with Mercury being retrograde, part of the challenge with this full moon, particularly with people who are traveling, who are doing logistics, who are on the road, who are driving to do grocery shopping last minute, you know, delays, traffic, technology snafus. You use a website you always have used and something minor doesn't work. You kind of have to try it 2 or 3 times for it to, you know, all of that. I wish I could tell everybody to try kind of lay off the travel at this point in time, but, you know, it's highly unlikely. So prepare for delays and snafus. Prepare to be stuck at an airport if you need to be, or a train station or a bus station. Prepare to miss a connection. Have a book. Lean into the energy of not having to move too fast and expecting everything to go smoothly and like it normally does. If you resist it, Mercury retrograde will drive you bananas. If you understand that there's a need or a reason why this slowdown is happening and it may not be entirely clear, then you will have a happier outcome with the idea that certain energies that keep us going, commuting, communicating, technology, transactions, shopping time, customer service, all these things that we take for granted, Ubering, lifting, busing, driving. There is a need to take a bit of a 3-week vacation and slow down a little bit. And life does not support that. So if you are going to resist it, it's going to be painful. If you're going to expect to get somewhere to somewhere between 30 minutes and it's taking 45 or an hour and a half, and that is going to cause a meltdown, you're fighting a losing battle. And so the full moon only exaggerates all of this to some extent. Actually, not to some extent, it does exaggerate all of this. The best possible use of the time period between now and December 6th, and I will give a shout out to a friend and client who mentioned this, and they will know who they are, is the idea of reconnecting with people from the past. Make those phone calls. Send those emails. If it's pending, or just pay attention to whether you are reconnecting to people from the past or trying to resolve or focus on cleaning up, sorting out, putting a certain energy in resolving past issues and past things in a way that causes you to slow down. We had the last new moon on November the 7th. And it's as if between November the 7th and let's say November the 15th, 16th, 17th, we were going forward in a certain way. And then November 15th, 16th, 17th happened, and a completely new set of energies were introduced. So the sense of we're moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. Wait, what the hell is this? And why is it slowing me down? And why is it dragging me down? And why do I have to deal with this? And where did this come from? And where did this become so urgent? Becomes important. Relationships. Be prepared, and this has already happened. If November 15th, 16th, 17th, and a few days, and a little bit around that time, there was a hairpin turn in relationships. Values. Someone evaluating, valuing my value, my worth, your worth. In relationships, be prepared for that. I may have had busier weeks in terms of readings, but I have not, when Venus went retrograde and with Venus going direct, I have not had more frantic requests, plural, for immediate consultations because our relationship was going along this way and it went that way. Happened around October the 5th, like clockwork happening now as well. Okay? So the other thing I'm going to ask you to do is really pay attention to... Hi, Isabella. My cat is here and saying hello. Hi. Really pay attention to... I wish I could put this on pause because... Anyway, really pay attention to... really pay attention to things related to... You know what? I am going to start this again because she is trying to tell me... No, I'm going to keep going. December the 9th, 2016 to February 9th, 2017. Oh, sweetie, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to be done. This might just make this a shorter video. December the 9th, 2016 to February the 9th, 2017. July, August 2017 to January 31st, 2018. And then August 11th, 2018 onwards. Thematically, pay attention to last week and this period, around November the 21st, because there might be something that comes up here that develops those themes. Just pay attention to what is happening this week and next week. And the dates that I mentioned, the 2017, 2018 dates, see if there's a thematic link between something that comes up around that time and then. Let's talk about the astrology super quick. We have a full moon in Gemini. We're clear about that. Why did this image just stop? Mercury retrograde. Last time Mercury was retrograde, guys, sorry, the image will come back on at some point, I trust and I assume, so you can hear me. I know you can. Last time Mercury was retrograde, exactly the same thing happened. The image just stopped. So I'm going to continue. Full moon on Thursday, astrologically. Mars goes into Pisces, went into Pisces on November the 15th. Pisces is where the eclipses in 2015, 2016 occurred and crises were created. There was a lot of energy in the sign of Pisces at that time. With Mars there and with Chiron retrograding there and with Neptune there, the energy of dealing with things one more time and trying to resolve them and heal them becomes paramount. Mars is here till the end of the year, so there's much more energy, and an energy of aggression and drive and passion and resolving things and moving things forward and healing them, and then the softer energy after Mars leaves in January through March. Venus went direct on November the 16th, hairpin turns in relationships, and if you were reevaluating relationships over the past 3 weeks since October the 5th, then it could be that there was some forward movement. The image is still frozen on a thumbs up, no less. And then Mercury going retrograde November 16th or 17th, depending on where you are. So having to slow down, reconnect, reconsider things from the past. November the 7th, new moon in Scorpio, things have a Scorpio focus, and then bam, all of a sudden we have focus in other areas. The Scorpio energy will come back in December to resolve itself. And then the eclipse in Leo on January the 21st, 2019, I believe for some people is felt around November the 21st, 2018. Okay, I'm going to close this out at present. And I apologize for the image issues and the technology issues, but really do pay attention to what I said in this video. Listen to it again if you need to, and be wary and mindful of this time. Okay, thanks a lot.